Hello, Terry. This will be some video feedback for week 3 as well as 4.1, which was the wireframe discussion. And I'll finish with the journal entry 3.1, where you describe your client and you form focus groups and devise questions to ask various constituents. I usually follow the rubric carefully. I do it off screen, of course, but if you'd like, open up the rubrics for the assignments as you watch the video, and you can follow through to see how I've marked you. Terry, I'm glad you went beyond the requirements of the wireframes, and you've actually begun to import assets. It's good to visualize it more fully like this. Of the 3 sketches that you've given us, though, I think that I like the, well, let's see, it's hard to say. Have you considered where your navigation is going to go? I'm thinking that the scale of the logo is pretty large on this one, and still kind of large here, too. Be careful about distorting things. You're going to want to have 3 or 4 links off to the side. Keep your navigation at the top of each page. And I would suggest, maybe putting your logo off to the side. The eye falls on any, well, they say, experts say that the eye falls here first, the upper left part of the page, and then travels around more or less in a clockwise fashion. So you want to be able to take advantage of that natural path the eye takes in your navigation scheme. Perhaps have your navigation at the top of every page where it doesn't move. Avoid vertical scrolling. One other thing you might consider doing throughout the rest of the course is, once you are uploading files to web servers, you can view them on your portable devices. So take a look at them on your phone, if you have an iPad or a tablet of some kind. Take a look at your pages as you develop them on that as well. Good job. Beyond what was required, wireframe usually denotes something that's very skeletal. Terry, I'm using Safari for the Macintosh to look at your pages. I've opened up Develop tab, and I've scrolled down to Show Page Source. What it does is it splits the window, and it allows me to look at your code while I preview your page live. So that's great. I see you've got, this is curious. Oh, hang on, let me go back to, here's your HTML, here's the page. I see that you've been successful in importing image. Now be careful about this because, how are you going to get a background that matches? You might consider importing a logo that is on a transparent background, perhaps an SVG file format. That will allow it to sit on top of just about any background that you could devise. I see that you started to format your type a little bit here. And are you aware of, I see some, oh, okay. You've indicated placement for your navigation, background image of the restaurant, and you've got some text. And have you formatted a title? It looks like you've got, you made it bold and larger. You're going to be using the external style sheet. Now while I'm here, I wanted to point out a little bit of code that will appear on your page. It's something that GeoCities places there. It's a JavaScript. I've just marked it in blue. If you see that on your code, don't be alarmed. It's something that GeoCities places there by default. Here's something else that GeoCities places. It allows your pages to be searchable, and it also registers them. So searchable is good. Findable is good too. It's promising. I think the next step for you is to create a unordered list. And I see that you have, a handle on file management. Just think about ways that you can keep from overwriting every week's assignment. I would expect week 4 maybe to be in a place that's more easily accessible, but I don't want to confuse you too if you're just understanding file management structures. Good job in posting it. You meet the requirements of the rubric. But I would say, though, that try to get, at least one of these heads in the corporate color. You'll be using a bind-hex combination probably to designate color. And if you've been able to figure out how to place images, that should be a pretty easy task for you, Terry. Good going. I don't mean to dwell on this, but as some departing remarks here, keep your eye focused on the client. Consider ways that you can do market research, and maybe do a Google search, market research for graphic designers. See what you come up with. There are a myriad of tools. Some of them, have been around for a long time and are free, such as the U.S. Census. Others you pay money for, but are, highly respected, such as Nielsen. And then, of course, there's always Google Analytics. And I can't pretend to know exactly what each of these tools does, but they are tools that are commonly used in market research.